A busy female CEO, known for her brilliance in business and relentless focus on success, found her world shaken by the most unexpected plea. While walking out of her sleek black car into the high-rise headquarters of her company, she was stopped by a small voice, trembling, soft, yet filled with hope. "I don't have mama, can I spend a day with you, ma'am?" The voice belonged to a little girl, no more than 6 years old, dressed in worn-out clothes, her tiny hands clutching a stuffed animal that had clearly seen better days. Her big brown eyes looked up at the woman with a longing that pierced through the cold armor of ambition and wealth. For the first time in years, the CEO stood frozen, her schedule forgotten, her thoughts scattered. Everyone around her paused. Her assistants, bodyguards, and staff waited for a command, a gesture, anything. But she gave none. Instead, she slowly bent down and asked gently, "Where is your mama?" "She went to heaven," the little girl replied with a shaky voice. "I just want to feel what it's like, to have someone like a mama, even if it's just for one day." In that moment, something broke inside the CEO. Memories of her own childhood, the one she buried deep under contracts and board meetings, came rushing back. She remembered being a little girl with pigtails, waiting every evening for her mother to come home from the hospital where she worked long shifts as a nurse. Her mother never failed to give her a warm smile and a tight hug, no matter how tired she was. The CEO took a deep breath, stood up, and said to her staff, "Clear my schedule." Everyone gasped. This woman never cancelled a single meeting. But she didn't care. She gently took the girl's hand and said, "All right, sweetheart. You can spend the day with me." And so began a day neither of them would ever forget. The CEO took the little girl to her office. Instead of the usual tense atmosphere filled with business chatter, her space was transformed into a haven of warmth and laughter. She let the child sit in her leather chair, play with the phone, and even gave her a pretend CEO badge. They had hot chocolate together in the executive lounge. The girl told her stories of her dreams, becoming a teacher, having a house with a garden, and always having cookies in the jar. The CEO listened with rapt attention, more focused than she had ever been in a shareholder meeting. She learned the girl's name was Lily, and she'd been in and out of shelters since losing her mother in a car accident. Her father had vanished years ago, and now, she stayed with a kind but overwhelmed foster worker. Later that day, the CEO took her shopping, not to show off wealth, but to make the child feel seen, valued, and loved. They picked a beautiful yellow dress, because Lily said her mom once told her she looked like sunshine in yellow. Back at the CEO's penthouse, Lily marveled at the view, the soft bed, the shelves of books and glass vases. But what made her happiest was when the CEO sat beside her, brushing her hair, just like a mother would. That night, as Lily fell asleep on the plush couch wrapped in a soft blanket, she whispered, "Thank you, ma'am. This was the best day of my life." The CEO watched her sleep, emotions swelling inside her, guilt, warmth, sorrow, and something new, purpose. She realized that for all her success, she had never felt this kind of fulfillment. That small child had reminded her of what truly mattered. In the following weeks, the CEO began making calls. She hired private investigators to find any surviving relatives, consulted with child psychologists, and reached out to child welfare services. She didn't want to just be a day in Lily's life, she wanted to be her future. A few months later, with all legalities cleared, the CEO adopted Lily. Her life changed in ways she never imagined. Board meetings were now scheduled around school pickups. Her private jet sometimes flew not to global conferences, but to countryside fairs. Her home echoed with laughter, bedtime stories, and piano lessons. She continued to lead her empire, but now with a new mission at its core. She started a foundation to support orphan children, focusing on mental health, education, and adoption programs. Her story inspired thousands of others to open their hearts and homes. One day, while speaking at a charity gala, she shared the story. "I thought I had it all, wealth, status, power. But it took a little girl with nothing but hope in her eyes to show me what I was missing. She came to me with the simplest request, just one day of love. That one day turned into forever. And I will be forever grateful." As applause erupted in the grand hall, Lily, now wearing a yellow dress, ran up to her, hugged her tightly, and said, "I love you, Mama." That was the moment that defined everything. The story is not about loss or charity. It's about rediscovery, of love, connection, and humanity. It reminds us that sometimes, in the rush to chase dreams, we forget the beauty of simply being present for someone who needs us. And sometimes, it takes a small hand in yours to guide you back to your soul. In a world that can often feel cold and transactional, this story rekindles faith in kindness, in second chances, and in the possibility that even the hardest hearts can be softened by love. It's a testament to how one day, one choice, one child, can change everything. Sometimes, the richest people are not the ones with the most money, but the ones who finally realize that love is the greatest wealth of all.